Warm welcome to all of you, wherever you may be watching. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimalo here in Abuja. Let's bring you up to speed as we kick off this program tonight with what is happening in Kano State as far as the Kano Emirate Leadership Saga is concerned. But of course, we know that the governor has been speaking, Governor Abba Yusuf, and he said every decision that has been made in the interest of the people of the state. But well, there is another court order that has emerged from a Kano High Court today, and that court order coming from Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu's court. This court order, part of the order, out of that court says that the Emir Amino Ado Bayero and 8 others should stop parading Emir Ado Bayero as the Emir of Kano State, and the police has been asked by the court to take over the Kano Emir Palace. And this court order coming today and signed by the court. All right, we're getting more reactions now from the different sides in the Kogi, Bayelsa governorship tribunal. Will be allowing you to hear and see what was the outcome of the tribunal judgment today. Stand by, everyone, because before we get into all of that and give you an insight into what is running the minds of Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, there's a possibility of a merger, a possibility of an alliance. What does this mean for our politics? You probably have been hearing that this is happening. They have been talking about it, and we'll let you in on some of these. Plus, also, there are other conversation as relating to the state of the nation. More of Bola Tinubu's ministers are speaking about their performance, of course, which you Nigerians have the right to judge and rate how their performance is being over the last few months. But first, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
As the country marks Children's Day, President Bola Tinubu is celebrating Nigerian children, who he described as the bearers of the nation's torch into the future. According to the statement signed by the special advisor to the president, Ajirin Gelale, the president rejoiced with parents, guardians, and families across the nation and called for a reinforcement of the family unit as a place where the sacred values of honesty, modesty, hard work, and charity are passed down to the shining light of tomorrow. The Senate has begun public hearing on an act to provide for the national anthem of Nigeria and other related matters. The leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, who represents the President of the Senate, says the second stanza of the existing national anthem shall be the national prayer. However, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, states that the reversal is not out of place, but it should involve a wider process to ensure it is a true reflection of the generality of the wishes of all Nigerians. Meanwhile, the Zenith Labour Party has expressed its support for the National Assembly's decision to change the current national anthem to the old Nigeria's original anthem. The national chairman of the party, Mr. Nwayanwu, who was speaking at a news conference in Abuja, notes that it is in line with the party's manifesto in the 2023 presidential election. According to him, the decision of the National Assembly proves that they are sensitive to the yearnings of the people. The Enugu State Governor, Mr. Peter Mba, has been given account of his stewardship since he took over office in 2023. He was speaking at a media chat at the government house in Enugu as part of activities to mark his 1 year in office. He notes that his administration is working tirelessly in providing security, infrastructure, education, and health delivery for the people of the state. He says he remains committed to growing the economy, boosting production for the overall well-being of citizens. And the candidate of the Labour Party in the November 11, 2023 governorship election in Imo State, Senator Athan Achonu, has vowed to challenge the judgment of the State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which affirmed the election of Mr. Hope Uzodimma. As the governor of Imo State, he has also vowed to challenge it at the Court of Appeal. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, Mr. Achonu says he received the judgment of the Imo State Election Petition Tribunal with so much sadness and disappointment. He faults the tribunal judgment dismissing his petition on the grounds that he was unable to prove that there was substantial non-compliance with the Electoral Act in the conduct of the November 11, 2023 Imo State governorship election.
Thank you so much. There you have it, everyone. You are now being up to speed with your political roundup stories. Let's begin by bringing you up to speed also with what happened or came out of the court today, especially the governorship tribunal in Kogi State. The Kogi Governorship Election Tribunal has affirmed the election of Governor Usman Ododo of the APC as the duly elected governor of Kogi State. And of course, we've been hearing some reactions from the lawyers after the tribunal gave his verdict today. Take a listen to them.
Pleased as the legal team of the second respondent, we feel the judgment was was erudite, well researched, and it dealt with every key issue, ranging from whether our candidate was qualified and whether the election was conducted in substantial compliance. And you can see that the tribunal, painstakingly, in almost a 4-hour judgment, went through all the issues and resolved them in favor of the second respondent.
We know that it's an unexpected outcome on the main issues submitted for consideration. With regard to issues of qualification and overvoting, we are waiting keenly to secure the certified copy of the judgment delivered to enable us to interrogate it further and know the way forward.
All right, the APC then declared winner of that election, and the tribunal has affirmed that outcome of that election. But the Social Democratic Party candidate, Murtala Ajaka, in that election has been reacting, and a statement which he titled, "A long walk to freedom has just begun." Mr. Ajaka, part of that statement says, quote, "Yes, we may have lost the battle at the tribunal, but the war is far from over. Our stolen mandate, our voice, our power will not be silenced. We will rise from the ashes of this defeat, stronger and more determined than ever before. Today we must encourage each other to be hopeful, to be relentless in our pursuit of justice, and to keep our faith unwavering." That is Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, the SDP governorship candidate in the Kogi governorship election. Of course, let's take you to Bayelsa State, where, of course, the 3-man panel led by Justice Adekunle Adeleye dismissed the petition brought by the All Progressives Congress APC and its candidate Timipre Siva. In that unanimous decision, the tribunal held that the petitioners failed to adduce any credible evidence to substantiate any of the allegations they raised against the outcome of the Bayelsa governorship poll. But the lawyers are also reacting to this.
To appreciate the tribunal judges and all those who worked, including everybody who have contributed one way or the other towards this very sound judgment. Again, I'd like to use the opportunity to talk to my people, the people of Bayelsa State, who graciously, freely gave me this mandate. So it is actually not my victory. It is the victory of the people of Bayelsa State. And so, as I always pledge, our administration is people-focused and people-oriented. So this will again give us a better latitude to continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to our people. You know that matters like these are distractions, particularly against the backdrop that you had an election that was adjudged to be one of the freest and the fairest, and yet you have been distracted over this period. I want to let my people know that we are still for you. We will continue to work for you, work with you until the final day of our administration. And so I want to appreciate the good people of Bayelsa State, people who stood by the truth, people who stood for democracy. Thank you, and God will continue to bless our state. God will bless Nigeria.
We began the reactions from the opposition in the APC. Timi Peresiva, who is the governorship candidate, said that no quantum of miscarriage of justice will make me lose confidence in the Nigerian judicial system. Is all we have. Some of the finest Nigerians I know are in our judiciary. What surprised me in today's judgment is an election petition tribunal making conclusive findings on criminal allegations without calling witnesses or experts. Well, considering the antecedents of this tribunal, we're not surprised. Thankfully, we can still seek redress in the appellate court. Timi Peresiva, the candidate of the APC. All right, then, let's get on our very first conversation tonight. And it's about an imminent political merger or alliance, as the case may be. Whichever way it comes, but there is some kind of working together, a partnership that is emerging. And the two parties that are involved, which is Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, have been talking about this in different fora. They have been talking about the possibility of coming together. Although Mr. Atiku Abubakar has said that he will continue to contest for election. But what is this possible alliance? You've seen these alliances happen before when these two men on your screen ran in the race in 2019. And of course, they ran on different platforms in 2023. Let's get talking, everyone. I'm being joined by the spokesperson of the Peter Obi media, Alhaji Yunusa Tanko, who joins us live here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, Sean.
So,
Good evening, Nigerians.
Can you give us clarity? What is on the mind of Mr. Obi? Does he want to run as a vice presidential candidate alongside Mr. Atiku Abubakar, who says he's going to run again as long as his energy and power permit him? What exactly is on the minds of Mr.
And he also said that he'll be willing to support Peter Obi if the party supports a southern candidate.
That was his initial. But the recent one, he says he will continue to run.
Yes, so I'm just reminding you of some of the two statements that he made. But let me make a clarity here. His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi is not interested in a merger that is only for the interest of seeking power. He's interested in a merger that will bring Nigerians out of the poverty level, bringing the Nigerian people to a comfortable state of health care, making sure Nigerians have potable drinking water, making sure that Nigerians have the issues of problem of power supply being solved. So therefore, he is interested strongly on a merger that is driven by ideology and a program. But if it's only for the purpose of power, he's not interested. So therefore, as we speak, I am so surprised. I thought I was so pessimistic as regard to the issue of taking people out of poverty, being my antecedent, working with Ghani against poverty and all. I've never seen somebody who wake up in the morning and anything he has in his pocket, he just say, Tanko, what do we do? I have some small money in my hand. Can we invest it in the area of bringing those children that he visited in the north out of this particular quagmire of Western education? Can we invest in them? So he's so passionate about seeing Nigeria work, not passionate about only getting power. So he has always said it, that he just wants to see Nigeria work. So eventually, if issues of merger comes about, it has to be seriously and very vigorously based on the program for the interest of the Nigerian people.
So is it that Mr. Obi is not really concerned about being the face or being the candidate, or he just wants to be part of a cause for a greater Nigeria? Is that the idea?
No.
Or he still wants to run?
His Excellency is interested in wrestling Nigeria out of the poverty level. Running, of course, will come when time comes. He's interested in making sure Nigeria is out of the wood. So therefore, he's reaching out to those who have similar ideology, believing in the emancipation of Nigerians out of that particular poverty line. That is the reason why he has to reach out to those of some of his former colleagues, some of the former vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if we put the issues of running first, not taking care of the Nigerian state as a country, then we're making a fundamental mistake. So he's more interested in making sure that Nigeria works at the moment now. That is his first priority.
So, I mean, so is it merger or alliance? What is the right word in these talks that is ongoing? The
discussions are within the level of the senior category of gladiators who are interested in making Nigeria work. That means the first Muslim citizen of the political party. Now, in this case, there are two issues. A merger, of course, you know, it means that the political party have to sublet all of their certificates and then become a new party. It's a rebirth of a new political party. It takes procedures and timing.
So we should be expecting a new political party?
Well, that will be if the decision is for us to have a merger or to have an alliance. An alliance, of course, is different from a merger. Alliance is that we are working together. You maintain your name, I maintain my name, but we work together in the same direction. That is an alliance.
Who are the people that Mr. Obi has been speaking with?
You see, the fact is that Nigerians' political parties and leaders are tired of the shenanigans and the propaganda that's already happening in Nigeria. The Nigerian people are in total disdain, and they are being held in total disdain, and poverty is so high to a point of 33-point-something percent of inflation. So in that regard, many political parties are interested in working together to get Nigerians out of the wood. So many.
And the plan is to get APC out of power in 2027.
Those who are inefficient to perform from the based on the promises that they made in Nigeria is the target. It's not about the APC as a political party, but anybody that is not interested in moving Nigeria forward should be out of this particular
We've
government.
seen the meeting, pictures emerging from meeting with Mr. Atiku Abubakar, meetings with Bukola Saraki.
Correct.
Meetings with former governor of Jigawa State.
Yes.
Who are the other people that Mr. Obi had met?
There are people that he has met, captains of industries, technocrats, students, political gladiators.
No, we're talking about the, at that echelon, which you say that the top gladiators are those whom he's meeting right now, that are talking about. Who are these other people? We know the ones that we do know are the ones I've mentioned, yes. But you are always with him. Yes. Who are the other ones that...
there are quite a number of them, and there's quite a number of them that have been reached out to, and they are going to be reached out to. Like, for example, the engineer Rabi Musa Kwankwasu, who also is a big political gladiator. Of course, they'll be meeting with him. They'll be meeting with different individuals. Some of the political parties like the SDP, the ADC, the ADP, ZLP, all of the political parties will be reached out to. And some of them are already having meetings too within themselves. So we need to have a conglomerate of well-grounded politicians who are interested in getting Nigeria out of the wood. It cannot be a one-man show.
So is the thinking about the power balancing and this zoning arrangement going to come into play? Is that, I mean, are they thinking that the power should remain in the South?
Remember, these processes, as I said, will take a little bit of long period because each of the gladiators are talking to each other on their level as senior citizens of their political parties. But when you involve the political party, you have to subject all of your suggestions and decisions to the political party for them to agree. That means whatever it is that you are discussing will be subjected to the national working committees of each of the political parties, and they have to come to terms with regard to what will be given, what will be accepted. How do we work together on what? For us, it's about program for the emancipation of Nigeria, nothing more, nothing less. So if that should be an agreement position, then we'll now look at whose does the cap suit best. And that will be discussed at the time in which we reach that particular destination.
Is Mr. Obi willing to relinquish or to step down if, for example, he's not picked within the... because we've seen this happen before with younger and emerging political leaders who were presidential candidates in their different political parties in 2019, but they couldn't agree at the end of the day. But is Mr. Obi liberal enough in this conversation to say, I'm going to jettison my ambition of becoming Nigeria's president for the interest of the emancipation that you have described?
Well, Peter Obi is a brand. brand instilled and infiltrated into the heart of the Nigerian youth. We've all established that. For over 12.5 million Nigerian youth actually register because the message of Peter Obi resonates with them. No wonder why the Champion newspaper yesterday gave him the award of the most impactful politician of the year 2023, which I was fortunate to represent him in that particular program. So that, of course, speaks volume on its own. And he has also said that he's not interested in, he's not desperate to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but he's desperate to see Nigeria work. So at the table where these particular issues will be discussed when the time comes, these decisions and these particular qualities of the individuals and the capacity of the individual will be put on the table. Then it will be left for whoever a decision that will say, okay, this particular person qualified to lead us in this particular struggle and is willing to abide by that.
Let's imagine and pray that it does happen.
Yes.
If Nigeria becomes better in the next 1 year,
yeah,
and which is the prayer and the vision of Mr. Peter Obi,
yes,
will this alliance still go on?
Of course, why not? Because at that point in time, we are still talking about the periphery of survival. That's the most shameful part of it. We're still talking about power, lights, water, health, and all. Developed countries have surpassed that particular level. We're still talking about that. So if this particular government is listening to the yearning and aspiration of Nigeria within a 1 year, although the president promised that they are going to give us power in the next 4 years, and if we don't do that, if he doesn't do that, you can vote him out. So let's even assume we give them within the year in which you have postulated. Now, it will be very, very clear that the Nigerian people can't decide and suggest that, look, we have to step up our game. There are other issues that we need to talk about. How about the economic well-being, the stabilized economic well-being of Nigeria? How about the issue of security? Then we will look at other needful things that Nigerians need to be in the highest position of the Community of Nations. So in that regard, the alliance will hold because we need a Nigeria that is well respected in and out of the country. Not this particular Nigeria that will be struggling to get to his village, struggling to get to a village where water is not there, where power supply is not there, where health facility is not there. Those who have been the periphery. So for us, it's about upping the game and making Nigeria a better country that is well respected among Community of Nations. So more of this particular alliance and work will still have to come in.
So Mr. Obi is hoping to use the Labour Party platform, or does he have any alternative or option?
No, he's maintained that he is still within the Labour Party. He has never changed his mind.
So in all of these alliance and possible merger, he's still going to carry the Labour Party toga?
Oh, sure. He's going to carry the Labour Party. That's his political party at the moment. Except, of course, anything happen in the future. But at the moment, he's still a Labour Party member.
So going forward, what in fact, I mean, because we're having a conversation here yesterday, and there are those who say the president should reach out to the political leaders and some of those who led in the campaigns and in the election. Is Mr. Obi willing to work with the Tinubu government if he's reached out to?
I don't know why they are not taking even the free consultancy that he's already been given. You don't need to be close to somebody before he can be working with you. We have been criticizing very important issues that affect every Nigerian in this country on a constant basis. Let me give you an example. Yes, he came out and challenged the issue of the coastal road. The coastal road, yes, a beautiful program as it may sound, but do we need it at the moment? Obviously, no. You cannot be spending 3 trillion of naira on a project where the Nigerian people in the rural areas and all are wallowing in abject poverty, which has led to our insecurity, fundamentally. So why would you spend money when you cannot move from here to Benin comfortably? When even today, you cannot move from here to Kaduna freely? Why you cannot move from Funtua to Kaduna freely? There are issues on the basic road that we have, even from the ones that we are existing, maybe Akwa Ibom, passing through Akwa Ibom to go to Calabar, and the rest of them are still in their needs of repairs. Even the existing one cannot be, where we have countries where you can have even lights from Kaduna to Abuja, and from Abuja to Lokoja, street light can be, we don't have all of this. But here you are embarking on a wild goose project that will affect the Nigerian people when the money that was supposed to be given to them to use in economic development of their state, of their state and their local government is being kept in abeyance. And listen, Recently, they're talking about even spending 10 billion naira for car parks in the universities. 10 billion naira for car parks. For what? When the university ASU program already or ASU issues have not been resolved up to now. Even the people that are working with them, with the civil servants, have not been paid their salary equivalent that will take care of their basic needs. These are fundamental issues. We have not involved ourselves or implement issues about having as little as it may cost, medulla refineries in 6 geographical zones of this particular country to take care of us, at least reducing this pain and pang of what exporting our oil, which can give us about 12 to 13 byproducts, and we come in with only one product. It's shameful. So why do you embark on such? And these particular issues are being put on the table constantly. So if a good government who is thinking inside the box, outside the box, around the box, on top and below the box, is thinking very well, it can use some of these particular constructive criticisms to help us say, okay, we've listened to this, let's look at it in this particular way. So it's a free consultancy, and we're all involved. If a good road is being put on place tonight for us to get to Benin, do we need everybody to be on the air? At the end of it, or probably you get disappointed, probably the flight will be cancelled for one reason or the other, or you have to pay humongous sum of money for you to travel from one point A to point B. They are not rocket science. These are things that we all need, and we keep on saying them day and night. So if you want to give Nigerians the best of governance, look at these small things. They make meaning to the hearts of Nigerians.
Alhaji Yunusa Tanko is the spokesperson of the Peter Obi Presidential Media Organization. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much indeed. We'll take a break, everyone. But when we return, we're going to be hearing another perspective into these possible alliances, the mergers, and of course, what is happening in the state of the nation. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back. So much, everyone. Let's give you an update of what happened earlier today. Members and leaders of Edo State Labour Party gathered today at the party's national headquarters in Abuja to express concerns about the ongoing leadership of under the national chairmanship of Julius Abure. Following his recent alleged suspension, Mr. Abure was allegedly suspended by local party executives in his Ward 3, Ara Uromi, located in Eshan North-East local government area of Edo State. However, the protest was met with counter-protest from other party members who support Abure's continued leadership. And this is how things panned out.
Wait, I don't understand. Are they going to say something or they're not going to say something? It's too dull, huh?
All right, then. That's what happened earlier today at the Labour Party national headquarters. Let's continue our conversation on issues of the merger and alliances that we're hearing. I'm being joined by a former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf. He joins us live here in Abuja. So thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us tonight. It's good to see you.
A pleasure. Thank you.
What do you make of the possibility of Mr. Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar working together?
They worked together before in 2019. It will not be out of place if they work together again. However, I am not in their mind, but I don't see the possibility.
Why do you say so?
They met a few days ago, and after the meeting, Abubakar Atiku came out to say he will continue to contest as long as he's alive and healthy. To me, that was to send a signal to those, especially the media, who were running with the notion that Atiku Abubakar might step down, share his political ambition for Peter Obi. But the follow-up statement a week later clarified that. So, I believe Atiku Abubakar is going to contest. I believe Peter Obi is
in 2027.
2027.
Both of them.
If the two of them can reach a compromise, fantastic for the opposition. But I doubt if such will happen. Then, on which premise? I love the statement made by the spokesperson of the Obi campaign organization here. He clearly stated that this talk between individuals had to be subjected to the individual parties. So we'll now sit down. Which of the two parties will be the leading party? Naturally, it should be PDP. But is Peter Obi ready to take the second fiddle, play the second fiddle in this arrangement? And will Peter Obi still have his base with him if he seeks to be presidential candidate? These are the things you have to look into. The reality of those mergers. People use the APC merger. PDP had ruled by then for 16 years. There was a natural desire for people to see a change. APP, that was like the equivalent of PDP in 1999, had been further weakened to the point that it had just 1 or 2 states. As of 1999, when PDP and APP contested, they were almost on equal, even level. PDP had a slight edge. But by 2014, ACN was even stronger. ACN, that by then was even a regional party, was stronger than APP. So it was obvious that there is need for those mergers. And don't forget that at that time, you had the Southwest, the ACN, being under the firm control of the present President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Presently, Kano Emirate moved Labour into a merger with what is even happening in Labour now?
You think he doesn't have the political prowess or capacity to do that?
I doubt it.
What does it take anyways?
The moment Obi is not the candidate, he won't have that kind of portfolioship in the merger. If he's the candidate and PDP becomes his second fiddle to a Labour Party, which I doubt. I doubt the possibility of such. Maybe. So ambition is one of the major reasons why I doubt the merger.
What do you think will work better? Because we're seeing Bukola Saraki in the conversation, we're seeing Atiku Abubakar in the meetings, we're seeing former governor of Jigawa State in the meeting, and we're hearing the possibility of SDP. In fact, we're seeing some leaders of the SDP meeting with the likes of Nasir El-Rufai. There are a lot of opposition leaders, and some of those who have been in the APC who played primary roles and now talking on the sidelines with opposition leaders. Is it an alliance that will work better from your own point of view, or a merger?
I think a merger will be produce more force, more power. Alliance will be too loose. It will be a merger that will produce a kind of counter force to check APC. But I don't see it happen. I wish I'm that optimistic, but I don't see it happen. I wish I am that convinced. What you're saying is that some people who feel they've made reasonable commitment and sacrifice into the emergence of this government in APC are not getting the kind of patronage they deserve. So by implication, they take legal alternative for. But if the government had reached out to such persons, you think they'll be interested in the alliance of merger? So the APC being in power has reasonable leverage to reconcile its members because of the nature of an average Nigerian politician who does not want to stay away from power. So, by implication, what is happening in PDP right now is not compared to what's happening in APC. But because PDP is not in power, the small cleavage and differences is seen in the open, while people swallow their pain and anger in the APC, hoping that one day I might be looked onto. So, merger is fantastic, it's better than alliance. I don't think alliance will work much here. We are not that politically sophisticated to do that kind of alliance in a governorship election, vote here, what have you. There are areas of the country, part of the country where that will work. But for general election, presidential election, I don't see that.
Alliances have worked, maybe not that obviously, but it's worked. We've seen it work, and those who said there was some kind of alliances between Bola Tinubu and Goodluck Jonathan in Lagos, which helped Goodluck Jonathan in the election. Those who said that was the icebreaker at the time in that election. That those who believe that, in fact, Bola Tinubu also used some kind of alliance within the PDP to break the ranks for the aggrieved governors within the PDP, which, of course, we know how it ended up. So alliances have worked. it may not be on the scale at which you're talking about, but merger have also worked. Merger has also worked in the sense that we saw the merger of part of ABGA, ACN,
NPP,
New PDP, and ANPP. And we've seen what happened. Since then, the APC, that was the child of that merger, has been in control of the center. But, I mean, fundamentally, there are those who say, Atiku will not be a vice to Peter Obi. That is not likely to happen. Or do you think that can happen?
I'm not in his mind, but I've been the vice president over
8 years. For 8 years.
For about 20 years, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So why will we be looking for as a vice president?
And there are those who will say that Atiku is a more senior political player than Peter Obi. And the reason why I ask that question is there is a Bola Tinubu from the South. Will the South naturally think that they will allow power to go to the North should an Atiku Abubakar, a Kwankwaso, decide that they are going to get their hat in the ring?
As of today, I am not an authority. I cannot claim I have all the analysis on what it takes to sway political opinion in Nigeria. But as of today, region, ethnicity, religion play a major factor in our election. In 2014, agitation began, reached its crucible in PDP by those who feel that, hey, after Obasanjo, Yaradua came in, spent about 3 years, died, Goodluck took over. Goodluck contested in 2011 and emerged. To them, Goodluck was taking the turn of the North. So 5 governors with Atiku Abubakar staged a walked out at PDP convention in Eagle Square and merged with APC. That Jonathan was taking the time with them. Atiku Abubakar lost the APC primary election, but he was committed enough to the not having presidency. He stayed back to work for Buhari to emerge. In 2023, it's simplicity. Buhari had been in power for 8 years. It is natural that he should go to the South. Don't underplay those sentiments. 2011 election that Jonathan won, because our brothers in the Cold North feel convinced that power should remain in the North. Despite the fact that PDP won governorship in some of this Cold North, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kano, Jigawa, Bauchi, PDP won senatorial election, House of Rep election, but lost presidential election, woefully. In fact, PDP did not get 10% in Bauchi. In Kano, managed to get 10, not 25%. In Sokoto, not 25%. Because the people were convinced that power should be in the North. Jonathan election in 2011, I tell people that emotions and sentiments don't win election. Go and check the facts. Look at demography and look at how voting pattern of people. Jonathan election in 2011, he got 81% of his vote from South-South, Southeast, and the Middle Belt. The Southwest, he got about 44 or 45% of the total vote in Southwest. APC team also won Southwest. What am I trying to say? 2023 election, it was natural that he should go to the South. So, in 2019, Buhari had done the term. PDP zoned presidency to the North. Where PDP was aware that Buhari had done a term. If an Atiku had emerged, he would do 2 terms. He won't do a 1 term. So he's conscious of the fact that for us to satisfy those North-South balance, he should go to the North. 2027, I believe that presidential candidate of the opposition party should come from the South. If he goes to the North, you are telling the South that they will not take their full 8 years. We are not there yet. I tell people, the ideality should be that the president should emerge based primarily on his competence, ability, capacity to deliver. But if you want to be sincere with us right now, Nigeria, that is not the order. Don't forget that APC, even the ruling party, was conscious of this North-South dichotomy. That was why they zoned to the South. So, I'm always saying, I think the South producing the opposition candidate will do better than they're not producing it.
So, I mean, Atiku Abubakar should jettison the idea of running in 2027.
In 2012. In 2012, June 12 or June 13, I granted an interview to the Tuesday newspaper. And I advised the then President Goodluck Jonathan not to run 2015. And people came for me. Say he was eminently qualified, his constitutional right. But what I'm saying, the dynamics on ground for fairness and equity and to bring Nigeria together so that this divide will not widen up too much. What happened in 2015? So I'm giving the same advice. It is not a must should be taken. It's a council. I think we should sacrifice his ambition. PDP needs this experience as a father of the party. It's lacking right now. Naturally, President Obasanjo will have played that role. But he quit partisan politics according to him. President Goodluck Jonathan did not step in. So we have no clearinghouse. There's nobody that you can defer to that. PDP naturally doesn't build to defer to one individual. But there should be somebody whose ambition will not impede on his ability to discharge equity fairness. But the moment Elijah Atiku take any step, it is believed that it is GS towards actualizing presidential ambition. If I advise, I say, you're a really great man. You can't take that away. You can't write the history of Nigeria without remembering the fact that God brought a political juggernaut of his caliber.
Let's take a look at, I'd like to get your view. The ministerial briefing, I'll take you away from the marriages let's analyze the state of the nation vis-a-vis the Bola Tinubu 1 year in office. The ministers they continued their briefing. Today was the Minister of Agri and the Minister of Aviation. Let me allow you to listen and I get your view on how this government has fared over the last 1 year. Take a listen to first Festus Keyamo talking about Nigeria Air. He says it's a fraud and is suspended indefinitely. Take a listen to him.
It remains suspended. It was never Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian Air trying to flag our flag. It was not Air Nigeria. That is the truth. There was not an Air Nigeria. It was only painted Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian airline trying to fly our flag. If it is so, why not allow our local people fly our flag? Why bring a foreigner to fly our flag? So nobody should deceive you that it was Air Nigeria. Air Nigeria must be indigenous, must be wholly Nigeria, or must be for the full benefit of Nigeria. Not that 60% of the profit was another country. How does that benefit us?
That's a controversial thing that he's been handling since he got into office. But talking about delivery of performance of the office, what has the aviation minister done? Take a listen to him.
One runway, Lagos, one runway operational. And so we quickly went to work. It was a low-hanging fruit. That one was initiated by us. We got people, we got funding somehow, and we quickly resurfaced and repaired 1-8 right, and 1-8 right was opened just this year. And so we have 2 functional runways in Lagos. Their funds were trapped here because of lack of liquidity on the part of Nigeria, because of so many subsidies we pay with our foreign earnings. And so foreign airlines were threatening to stop operating to Nigeria. Now, I must give credit to all those in the financial sector for this. We had to work closely with the CBN. We had to work closely with the Minister of Finance. We had to work closely with all of the ministers in the financial sector. And by our persistence and working closely with them, of course, you know, we are happy to announce that we have cleared all the trap prompts on the CBN.
The Minister of Agri also briefed and he told us about how much of the billions that have been injected such that they want to secure this country in terms of food production. Take a listen to him.
Very, very serious issue where we have stunted growth and wasted growth that affects the gray matter of especially children of below the ages of 5. In response to also the persistent food inflation, the following measures were undertaken to boost production. we distributed 60,432 metric tons of improved seeds, 887,255 metric tons of seedlings, 138 numbers of value kits, 501,726 liters of agrochemicals, 62,328 metric tons of inorganic fertilizers, 1,000 kilograms of fungicide, and 33,200 numbers of different equipments to farmers across different value chains to enhance production.
Let's get Honorable Yusuf's analysis and perception or perspectives on the Bola Tinubu 1 year in office. And we've been listening to his ministers give account of what they have done. But what you listen to now, are you impressed with this government in the last 1 year?
What I just listened to now, I'm not impressed. I'll give a general perspective, but let me speak to these issues. First of all, that the Air Nigeria thing is a fraud is not contestable, but that because it's not an indigenous airline should not be an issue. If a debit is thoroughly done without any funny on the table, last minute, I mean, it was 1 airline was brought in overnight and repeated Nigeria. It's something that, if you sit down, the Virgin Atlantic that came in one time to run the Nigeria Airways was not an indigenous company, but it was a properly structured agreement. So I wish him well. I've not followed aviation ministry that much to know what is going on, but I've not had anything fantastic about the aviation ministry, so I can talk about it. On the food, on the agri sector, I sincerely get worried with us. When you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, it's called madness, it's insanity. We keep doing our policy in Abuja about so amount of money being given to this and what have you. Are we not aware that over time, there are middlemen who trap this thing, who take this money into other things and does not get to the real farmers? Where is the place of agri-extension officers that are supposed to be in those communities and supervise directly? We should go back to those things. So you have physical presence in these communities, so that you know that what you are dispensing is actually going to agriculture. So I'm saying that it's just the usual. That's why I question our federalism. I tell people that it's only Nigeria that practices the kind of federalism where people sit every month to share money. I can't find it anywhere. Where state will come to Abuja every month, and all you do is share.
If you are to rate this government in the last 1 year, 10 being the highest, 0 being the lowest, well, how would you rate this government?
I would sincerely not go give more than 4%.
That's woeful.
I get seriously concerned because of one major issue that was not handled well. In economies, there's what we call bad wagon effect. There are ripple effects of things that will dwarf whatever achievement we have in other areas. The way subsidy was handled brought a lot of their effort to not in other areas.
They're Hercules heel. They are Hercules heel.
First, subsidy has been here for long, that you has to come into power. And with this, sophisticated and rich experience in politics, I expect there should be a think tank that should have thought about how to handle subsidy. You don't come the first day in inauguration and declare subsidy removal. Then you now start thinking of palliative.
So it's like an own goal.
It was not well thought. I am an economist and I keep telling people, yes, I oppose Jonathan's removal of subsidy. I moved the motion on that Sunday because of the same thing that happened now, that was not well thought. There is no country in the world that does not subsidize. But why do you put your subsidy? Do you put it to finance and encourage the ostentatious living of the rich by putting on fuel? No. Subsidize education, agriculture, and what have you. So you plan this over time, and everybody is aware that in the next 1 year, subsidy will be phased out. But in place of that, children in social grade of school, we have so that parents will transfer the resources they use on buying fuel.
All right, Honorable. Thank you so much indeed. Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, a former member of the House of Representatives. Thanks so much for your thoughts tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.